you, my love? Do you trust the girl?
Saskia. But I trust Iorveth, and he trusts her.
I don't think we'll get through this in one piece.
He knew we were lost and stuck. Light is too silly. The storm is coming. Let's enjoy the weather while we still can.
I don't like you, Witcher.
Greetings, Gwynblade.
What could Philippa want? Why does she care about Vergen being free, independent?
Like all sorceresses, she likes to dabble in politics. Not one of them would hesitate to sacrifice another life if it furthered their goals.
Quite a one-sided opinion. All? None? Life's rather colorful. It's not all black and white.
Shades of grey, I think. I have no illusions about mages. You know the fate which the Queen of the Valley of Flowers reserved for the elven youth. Enid Anglina, known also as Francesca Finderbear, another sorceress. In exchange for the creation of an elven kingdom in Dolblathana, she sent the Scoia'tael to be butchered while attacking Nilfgaard's foes from the rear. She had a chance to call it off. She could have opposed the Emperor of Nilfgaard and summoned the squirrels to defend the Valley of Flowers.
Why didn't she?
In the name of a higher purpose. It's what the Emperor wanted. That's why we became bandits after the war. That's why elves are dying, our young murdered by the likes of ROCHE. And that's why I cannot trust Philippa Eilhart.
Roche could be on the other side of the fog.
In that case, I'll finally get him. I came close in Flotsam.
Been after him for a while?
Ever since he became leader of the Blue Stripes. During his first mission as commander, he ambushed one of my units, cut it down to the last elf. Surprised me for the first and last time. I've been more cautious since then.
So it's a personal matter. Vengeance. A theme straight out of Dandelion's ballads.
The safety of the Scoia'tael demands his death. Of the commanders first appointed to such units, he's the only one still alive.
I noticed there's no Temerian emblem in your collection.
We should not claim something's done when it is not.
You do realize that a dozen others will replace him when he's gone. Possibly dirtier foes, possibly worse.
Better to have a known enemy, you say? That doesn't apply to Vernon. A more determined demon has never walked upon this earth. The longer he is active, the better he gets. I must put an end to it.
Are units like the Blue Stripes common?
The Blue Stripes are uncommon, let me assure you. Efficient, ruthless, and well-led, they're your version of the Scoia'tael. But you're right, there are other units. Each kingdom has a few of them, smaller or larger. They were a reaction to our operations behind the lines during the wars with Nilfgaard. These units recruit only those who have nothing left to lose. They're persuaded it's all for a greater good and are spoon-fed dreams of revenge for the death of their loved ones. They gradually lose any vestige of humanity, kill when ordered to without hesitation. Of course, the same happens to regular soldiers, only these special units actually enjoy hunting elves.
They come after you, though you're similar in fact. This provokes you to retaliate and so on. And that'll continue until only a few are left, all on one side.
I have no illusions which side that will be. You, the Dwan, will conquer this world with your thoughtless expansion. We are dying out.
So why fight it?
Elves stand by their decisions. Unlike you, we don't flit between alternatives. We made a choice once, now we reap the results.
Tell me about this Dwan for whom the Scoia'tael are ready to do battle.
Saskia. She's no Dwan. Certainly not like the others. You've seen her. I doubt I need to explain.
She's fighting for a Pontar Valley for dwarves, elves, and humans alike. I thought you despised humans.
I may only be a warrior, but I'm no fool. This is the best we can hope for now, and it's better than the Valley of Flowers.
Have you ever been to the Valley of Flowers?
Dolblathana is nothing more than a vassal state of the Nilfgaardian Emperor. They call it the land of free elves, but the Scoia'tael are not welcome. It's another in a string of painful lessons. But a free Pontar Valley could change that. It's been 5 years since the kingdom was established in Dolblathana. Over 2,000 elves have settled there. Do you know how many children they've produced? A dozen or so. It's no longer the Valley of Flowers. It's the Valley of Sterile Elders.
I'd love to see you tell Francesca that. You think you can repel Henselt's army?
No.
What do you mean, no?
The fortifications and dwarven devices are simply not enough to hold off the Kedwenis. They are just too many.
What do you plan to do?
You'll see. One thing I can promise. I won't break any pledge I've made.
I once met another Scoia'tael leader.
Yavin. I knew him. He had beautiful dreams and desperately wanted me to share them. Asked the same of you, I heard.
You know a lot about me.
I try to know as much as I can. About everyone.
I'm a Witcher. I remain neutral. I didn't take his side.
Perhaps that is the correct attitude. Let things run their course. It's worse if we then wonder what could have been had we acted differently.
I try to avoid that. Decisions should be evaluated before they're made, not after.
How is it that we're on the same side today?
Things change. Today I have different goals and different allies. Anything new about Letho?
No, but I wager he's somewhere on the other side of the fog. I can feel it.
You haven't had a chance to explain yourself. Your alliance with Letho. This is a good time.
I suppose I owe it to you, Geralt. I don't know who they are exactly, nor who they're working for. I met Letho 2 months ago. He had escaped his pursuers in Edirn, found me and suggested we trade services. Our scouts and forest hideaways in exchange for the heads of Foltest and Henselt. A good offer to begin with that only became better when we revealed only part of our secrets. It then turned out that Letho was not alone. Seret and orcs were meant to kill Henselt. My warriors were to help them. As you know, this never came to pass.
I'm so tired.
Hello, Chief. It's really haunted. It is. They should make it a mandatory.
I don't know.
What's the... So, you thought it over? I'm on my way to the recruiting station.
I don't know.
What's to consider? Iorveth's not just any troublemaker.
Elves, they talk a lot and think very little. In the end, they end up dead, shouting, "We really showed them."
Iorveth's different. We haven't had a leader like him in ages.
We? Remember this, an elf's an elf. A dwarf's a dwarf, and no bandit will ever make a good soldier.
So you're not enlisting?
I didn't say that. I need more time.
What is it, Witcher?
Who is that girl?
Cynthia, a leashed sorceress.
A charming expression. Do you also use muzzles?
Leash means a connection between a sorceress and her assistant. An unfortunate term, I admit, but it explains how things are. Cynthia can tap my power, use my spells. She's a conduit. And she's learning along the way. It's convenient, and except for the name, not derisive at all. But you're not here to talk about Cynthia.
How is it that King Radovid's court sorceress and advisor is supporting rebellion in Edirn?
This has grown into more than a simple rebellion, Witcher. Prince Stennis' arrival here confirmed Saskia's right to represent Edirn.
Saskia isn't fighting for Edirn, but for the Pontar Valley. Even Prince Stennis considers you rebels. He hasn't moved against you because war with Kedwen hangs by a thread. Why are you here, Sorceress of Tretogor?
It is my duty. If Henselt occupies the Pontar Valley, Redania and Temeria will respond strongly. The North will disintegrate, its unity gone. A dark scenario that is nevertheless avoidable, provided Saskia is successful and wins the Valley's independence.
Even if she thwarts Henselt, there'll be no independence without agreement from Redania and Temeria.
Temeria's expansionist plans melted away with Foltest's death. Redania's ruler is unpredictable, but even he'll have to respect a victory. I'm here to make this victory a fact.
Is what they say true? Did Saskia kill a dragon?
Prince Stennis decorated her for it at the court in Vengerberg, so it appears to be true. If you want to know the details, talk to Biggerhorn. Apparently he witnessed it.
Have you heard about a Witcher's school? Apparently the Viper's their sign.
No, why do you ask?
The Kingslayer wears a medallion adorned with a viper.
Pretentious and childish for my taste. He can't be very smart.
At the council, you mentioned artifacts were needed to undo the curse.
But I can't look for them now.
I can do that.
Why?
I have my reasons. Tell me something. What happened here 3 years ago?
Henselt attacked Edirn, but met his match. Nobody won that war. Sabrina Glefisig got into a conflict with the commander-in-chief of the Kedweni forces, and this led to both armies being routed. Fireballs turned the battlefield into a flaming tomb. Henselt accused Sabrina of using a forbidden weapon.
And Sabrina cursed Henselt.
I think so. I suspect the curse got out of hand because of the circumstances.
Circumstances? The stars weren't right, wrong phase of the moon. There's always an excuse for simple bungling.
She placed the curse while burning at the stake. Her hands and feet nailed to a wagon wheel. I'd say she did a good job, considering.
Did you notice? Not all the ghosts were aggressive.
Yes. Most just disappeared when they touched the aura of a living person.
I think the curse corrupts the ghosts of the fallen and turns them into draugrs.
Is that the Witcher's professional name for wraiths?
Draugrs are demons of war. They arise at sites of exceptionally vicious, bloody battles. Their bloodlust and hatred in condensed form.
Can you kill them by conventional means?
A silver sword is enough for a draugr, but as long as the curse remains active, new ones will arise. The soldiers' ghosts are the key. If I could turn the tide of the battle...
For that you'll need symbols of war belonging to those who fell in battle. Hatred, death, courage, and faith. All artifacts must be magically active and connected to the fallen, or they won't lure the ghosts.
Right. I'll look around.
Finding 2 will be enough. Get the symbols of hatred and death and leave the rest to me.
I'd prefer courage and faith.
Don't fuss.
I'll see what I can do. Cecil seems to know a lot about the area. Know anything about blood curses?
Do you?
We're dealing with a 4th-level curse, also known as the Curse of the Archmistress.
Well, I'm impressed.
Thing is, until now I thought it was only a myth, that such a curse couldn't be cast.
You thought wrong. There are 6 confirmed cases of this curse being inflicted.
What about confirmed cases of it being lifted?
1. Achieved by a team of sorcerers led by Archmistress Francesca Finderbear, hence the curse's other name. Sabrina Glefisig was on the team.
Small world.
That's not all. The curse investigated by Francesca and Sabrina was designed to end the Tyson dynasty, the rulers of Kovir. They were cursed by Scarlet Rodalega, a complete madman, but very talented. An eclipse and wraiths also accompanied his curse.
So Sabrina's curse is just a knockoff Rodalega?
Exactly.
Can Francesca's experience help us?
Certainly. I know the symbols and the workings of the curse thanks to her.
Care to explain? I'm the one risking my neck.
You'll have to relive the battle and change its course at the right moment. I don't know exactly what will happen. Nobody does.
I'll look for those artifacts. You said we'd need a magical object to cure Saskia. Any ideas where I might start looking?
Magical items do not grow on trees, as you know. Luckily, this area has a long history. There's the Battle of Wraiths, the site of Sabrina Glevisig's death and suffering, the abandoned mines.
I was hoping you'd be specific.
I won't ask you to traipse around with a divining rod, but please try to be a little inventive. Ask the locals, that's always a good place to start. I dare say Alderman Burden knows every last stone in the area. Maybe you should see him.
What's this? Clad in
Pray tell, what compels you to disturb the Prince of Edirn, Witcher?
I have a few questions.
And you believe I should answer them instead of setting my dogs on you?
I think your Royal Highness has enough foes. Here, abroad, in Vengerberg.
The intricacies of succession are not something I wish to discuss with an itinerant monster slayer.
Succession is the topic of choice in about every inn in the country. I don't know for sure, but I think the Hangman of Vengerberg was the last to claim the throne.
My patience has its limits, and at present, only my respect for Lady Saskia restrains my anger. Come to the point, or leave me be.
Don't change the subject, Prince.
So be it. Let us set our differences aside and speak as equals.
Then tell me what you're doing so far away from the capital. Why aren't you in Vengerberg being crowned?
Well, sadly, my position is not strong there. My father emboldened the nobles. The great families have decided in this hour, so critical for the realm, to revolt.
Your title to the throne is indisputable.
Edirn has become a lawless land, ruled by those who wield might, by those whom people follow. I intend to show just how worthy I am of the crown, and thus claim what's mine.
By returning to Vengerberg a hero, there should be no shortage of opportunities here.
I don't like your tone, Witcher.
I'm trying to figure out where this fog came from. What exactly happened here 3 years ago?
Henselt's mages committed mass murder. A dark day for the knighthood and all people of honor. But it was honor that allowed us to survive. There was no defeat, no victory. Honor stood against wickedness, virtue against black magic.
You took part in that battle?
My father stayed in the capital. He was to defend Vengerberg. I took to the field. I wanted to stop Henselt before he crossed the Pontar, but I was too late. So I decided to await him at Vergen. Henselt's army was exhausted. We would have triumphed if not for that heinous act. Henselt had mages with him, and they cast a treacherous spell on the entire battlefield. A fiery rain fell from the heavens. Destructive, murderous embers which brought the battle to an end. I gathered the few survivors and withdrew deep into the country. The soldiers were terrified, but Henselt showed no desire to pursue.
Only a master mage could have cast such a powerful spell, and I suspect he could not have accomplished it alone.
I remember Sabrina Glevesig. Through the flames I saw her observing the carnage from her mount, dressed in a hunting suit. Straight-backed, dispassionate.
Sabrina. If I remember correctly, she's Henselt's advisor.
Was. Henselt condemned her to death for casting that spell. The Kedwenis roasted in their armour, just the same way the Edirnians did. You know what struck me when all hell broke loose? What I found astonishing and even amusing? Going into battle, we sang our Edirnian songs. They intoned their Kedweni hymns to Creve. But when fire descended from the sky, our cries of pain were no different. We all wailed as humans. For an instant, the magnitude of the tragedy brought together our two warring nations.
I still have no idea where the spectral fog came from.
I'm afraid I don't know either.
I need royal blood.
As you know, I've yet to be crowned.
But blood of your royal ancestors flows through your veins.
Well, true, but that doesn't mean I'll shed a drop for some vagabond. Are you a witcher or a vampire?
I need it to save Saskia.
I need you to live. Don't bother me with such audacious proposals.
There goes the piece, eh?
Let me tell you about the woman who fell from the
Look,
sky.
another one. You
You've
let
told
one
that
human
story
in and in no
1,000
time
times.
you've got a
I've heard
swarm.
enough of flying women.
It was very
I
unusual.
heard human women need
Won't say unusual if you return home sober for once. You won't trick me into buying you around.
Geralt! Come on!
Geralt, sit down. We haven't yet celebrated your raid into the mist. Ah, sorry. Where are my manners? Sheldon Skaggs, veteran of the battles of Sodden and Brenna.
And all ends along the way.
You've already met Svergen's elder?
Greetings. Gentlemen, not sure about you, but my throat's parched from all these greetings.
Funny, those were the first words out of your mouth.
Master Dandelion's right. Around for everyone! On me!
I'll gladly wash the road's dust from my throat, especially in such good company.
Too bad Caleb Stratton's not here. May he rest in peace.
A worthy dwarf he was. Here's to him.
Sheldon, you're lagging behind.
I've got a little screw coming tonight.
More reason to drink makes you more vigorous.
My prick withers like an old crone's tits if I drink.
Tie a carrot to it.
Why are you dwarves fighting for Saskia?
If I had a knack for business, I'd be sitting on my arse in my own inn, not giving a shit for this war. But what's my trade? Axe swinging. That's what. And if I could get killed, I'd rather know what I'm risking my neck for.
The woman's cuckoo, ready to spit in the Emperor's face even. But I have to admit, she knows all about warcraft. And damn it, she's right. Free Vergen, no matter if you're a dwarf, man or mangy elf.
Do you hear him, Zigrin? Down on the elves already. But I bet he wouldn't sniff at 30 additional archers in battle.
So, what brings you here, Geralt?
Have you ever heard of a plant called the Dwarven Immortal?
Have we? The pigs have tight arses.
To tell the truth, I've no idea, Skaggs.
It's just a saying.
You're the only one using it.
Witcher, the Immortal. It appears most often near anthracite and aluminosilicate deposits.
Philippa needs it to heal Saskia.
A rare curio, but there's a mine nearby, and who knows? You might find it deep underground.
Is the mine far?
Not at all. It's in Vergen itself, in the town's upper quarter.
You're eager for this expedition, but nobody told the Witcher that their mine's closed.
Closed? That's true. But it's long overdue a cleaning. Weed out all the underground shit.
What are you talking about?
Not a month ago, miners started disappearing. Must have tapped the wrong vein and woken some scum from the deep. We wanted to send a crew of stout fellows in, but Saskia said she needs all the soldiers she can find up top and ready to defend the town. We closed the shaft, fearing the filth would emerge and overrun us all.
Looks like we arrived just in time, eh, Geralt?
So it seems. Let's go.
Right on. With this crew, we needn't fear any monster. How about you, Sheldon? You coming with us, or staying around to get your fuck?
Another chance like this won't come around in a hurry. Fucking can wait. I'm with you.
Let's meet at the mine's entrance.
Who's he? He travels the lands, killing monsters for the queen. Sorcerers mutate.
eh? That's a Witcher, not a human.
The Witcher's on board. We can go.
Let's get to work, my bearded friends.
Open the shaft, Skags. If you kill off those monsters, the whole of Vergum will be grateful. I'm sure some coin would be found.
We'll keep that in mind, Cecil.
So, Sheldon, you opened the shaft yet?
Keep your pricks in your trousers. You can't just plough forward all the time. A mind is like a lover. You need to be gentle, so she accepts you moist and hot.
You and your music, Sheldon.
No shaft.
Poor son of a bitch. He almost got away.
I think I heard something.
We're close.
Damn carrier. That was close.
What was that?
Necrophages. With this many appearing, they must have a nest nearby.
Come on! Show yourselves! I'll let you taste my axe!
Oh, you're making them shit bricks?
Even then, they'd stink less than you!
Right. That should do it.
Get ready. getting close.
Let's grab what we need and get out of here. Right, Geralt. Looks like it's all over.
Thanks for your help, Zoltan.
Say nothing of it.
Enough yapping. Time for some vodka.
First, I want to see if my fuck date's still waiting.
Just don't strain yourself. It takes energy to drink with us too, you know.
Eh? That's a Witcher, not a human.
No snaps.